Okay. My goodness. Yep. How about that? No question. All right. We're live in 4 minutes. 4 minutes, everybody. And I'm going to tell you remember, stop in Rhode Island Guns and Ammo right there on Post Road. How about yesterday? Armed home invasion, North Providence. Folks, you don't want to take any chances. Not with this climate. There's Catherine. There she is. Folks, let's roll it. Now, nice weather all weekend. Nice weather all weekend. So we're going to be out, obviously, with Road Patrol as we were last night. Just hit 69,000 just people following the page. Now, many times, the thing about Meta is you get a chance to, we reach hundreds of thousands a month, but very happy about that. 69,000, 1,000 away from obviously 70,000. So as we just continue to build more followers, more excitement. But remember, stop in and see George at Rhode Island Guns and Ammo, Post Road in Warwick, right near Greg's, and mention the show and you get a special discount. So there's that. Yep, and we are live with the real news. But it should be a good weekend. It's a big protest weekend. And so we'll cover some elements of that. Obviously not one of my favorite things to do, but we will do it, especially the march, where I believe they're going to cause havoc in the plan is to vandalize Jewish businesses in downtown Providence. So we're going to be covering that. So we are live on the radio coming up in we're 2 minutes out. Folks, couple of reminders. You want to get your trees trimmed. I think that's a good idea. Remember, JD Lawn Care right there in Coventry. So, but you can call them, obviously. They'll come to wherever you are, for crying out loud. But it's JD's Lawn Care in Tree Service. Call them. Get those branches trimmed. 401-441-0154. It's Friday. You want to go out to eat. Cooley Sit-In's always a good choice. The Lodge Pub and Eatery, 40 Breakneck Hill Road in Lincoln, and also Kay's in Woonsocket. Another great spot this weekend, folks, as we want to continue to support all of our local businesses. Maybe, do you need a new vehicle? Stop in and see Paul. Valari Motors, right there in Cranston, 1003 Park Avenue in Cranston. Stop in and see Paul at Valari Motors. Now, we also have someone asked me, they think getting a new kitchen. Dreammaker Bath and Kitchen, Dennis and Christina are the best. Right there, Greenwich Avenue in Warwick, right next to Kachai, and they're down the street from Crown Plaza. Dreammaker Bath and Kitchen. Now, as we're 1 minute out from our Real News at 1 broadcast, I also want to remind you that, well, we're going to talk to Marie coming up, but if you need to get your driveway paved, J. Perry Paving, what a great job they'll do for your driveway, your parking lot. 401-732-1730. Countdown is on. We're less than 1 minute out. And the other one people are asking. And we're live. Folks, good afternoon on this Friday. What a week it has been. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Real News at 1. And right now on this Friday, October 4th, this portion of the program, now you can listen to us, AM 1380, 99.9 FM. You can listen online at the website, which is dpetro.com. You just click the top, listen live. Boom, it's crystal clear audio. You can also watch and listen. That's right. Wait a minute. I can watch and listen. Yes, you can. You can watch and listen at um, whether the three different platforms, whether it is YouTube or whether it is, in fact, maybe you are on X, you can listen that way. And then you can always listen. Obviously, our main base is our Facebook page that we just continue to experience tremendous growth. Folks, this portion of the program, it's got such a fall feel to it. This weekend's going to be great weather. Stop it and see them at PR Landscape Materials in Garden Center, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. Homegrown mums and kale are just fantastic this year. It's Steve and Debbie and Junior and Byron. PR Landscape Materials in Garden Center. Pumpkins, straw bales, corn stalks, gourds, Indian corn. They have it all. Native vegetables are available. Stop in and see them. I share their Facebook page just because they do such a great job and it brings it to life. Rhode Island's #1 garden center. They're open 7 days a week, family run business. They grind it. It's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, mulch, loam, crushed stone, and the like. Now, check out our website, dpetro.com, which is brought to you by the Coesit Inn, 226 Coesit Avenue, West Warwick. Lunch, dinner, drinks with Anthony Santos at the lounge, for crying out loud. Remember, they're open 7 days a week. They have the market at Coesit, and the menu's always improving, and they add different dishes. And it's also, as I like to point out, it's the perfect spot for that collation lunch. Whenever, someone will pass away, and then you're going to have the service. Now it's lunchtime. Let's all get together and remember the person that just passed away. The Coesit Inn they can accommodate 25 people. They can accommodate 40 people. They could accommodate 50 people. They can accommodate 100 people. I was at the Coesit Inn, and it was a very large gathering after a funeral. They can accommodate 150 people. The Coesit Inn, 226 Coesit Avenue in West Warwick. Well, folks, again, for those that enjoy road patrol, and good afternoon to everybody. Yes, we're going to be active this weekend. It is it's not your imagination. The Biden McKee false propaganda, it's all a myth. It's all fake, and it's all crumbling. I also want to touch on something that is very challenging, and I saw it yesterday. And actually, I see it a lot, but I experienced yesterday is there's a lot of attention paid to 195 East Bay and the colossal disaster of which no one has been suspended, no one has been terminated, federal investigation, billions missing. And Governor McKee, keep in mind, he's still enjoying his 2-week vacation. But something I want to point out that can't be underestimated, and I saw it yesterday. There was breaking news. You had a home invasion in North Providence, which I'll get into, and we've covered that, and we put out information on that before anybody. And then you also had the situation where a father took his child out of a daycare in Canton, Mass, drove towards Rhode Island, of course, right? Where would you go when you're a criminal and you basically just kidnapped someone? He was like, I got to head to Rhode Island, the sanctuary state. But as I was trying to get to that, and it's something I do want to give credit to Dan Janik of NBC 10. He points it out. As much as people focus on 195, it throws off all the traffic. And the afternoon is a disaster. I mean, the traffic was backed up to Route 37. And this wasn't rush hour. This was middle of the afternoon. And Governor agreed. He has no plan on what to do about it. But it's affecting you know what his plan is? He goes on vacation for 2 weeks. That's his plan. And it's disgraceful. But what you're seeing right now, and this is going to be a pivotal month, I credit actor, and I played it on the radio show, Bill Murray coming out saying, I'm against what's going on in Washington. It's not effective. It's a joke that Kamala Harris says, oh, yeah, I want to reach across the aisle. Folks, they never want to work and reach across the aisle. I was kind of laughing this week where someone told me, she's going to work with, they have no intent. She's going to work with the Republicans. They don't have any intentions of working with anybody. And the same goes locally. That no, it's their way or the highway. So actor Bill Murray, who I like, and he's got a lot of fans, he comes out and says, Trump, we've never had a figure like this, just breaking out of the pack, and it's a vote against the status quo. What is Rhode Island Senator Sheldon Whitehouse do? I'll give you the answer. Nothing. What does Gabe Amo do? I mean, no one's gotten more of a free pass than that guy. What does Magazina do? They don't do anything. So I think people want to go with the disruption. Now, if you heard the radio show, I want to credit the Boston Globe, Rhode Island. Number one, they highlighted how Council 94 in the union are trying to destroy the great work done at the airport. And this is insanity, what's taking place at the, TF Green. But why does Council 94 feel so confident in pulling these ridiculous shenanigans? The CEO of TF Green, who I've never met, but I will reach out to invite him on the program. They've doubled the number of direct flights. What would be the holdup? Why? It's Council 94. It's the union. They meddle in these businesses and they're toxic, but they totally treat Governor McKee like a puppet on a string. That's number one. Number two, the Dan McGowan piece in the Boston Globe that I talked about. And Rhode Island College, the vice president of DEI. That is embarrassing to me that they even have that. So not only does she leave in May, but she was there 7 years. This Anna Kanana Morales. I've heard the name. DEI vice president of Rhode Island College. Talk about a worthless, useless job. But on top of that, they give her 180 grand as she walks out the door. So I want to credit Dan McGowan of the Boston Globe that said, I want to get a copy of the severance agreement. Why did she leave? Why was she forced out? Why is the state paying her 180 grand? This is insanity. Who's in charge of Rhode Island College? Governor McKee. Who's in charge of making sure the airport runs effectively? Governor McKee. Step in. Tell Council 94 and those other goons to back off. There's no leadership. And now we go back to the Boston Globe. And this story today, now keep in mind, I also want to remind you, before he left on his 2-week vacation, Governor McKee will not sit down with the Providence Journal. He won't sit down with the Boston Globe. He won't do any interview that he doesn't feel is safe territory, and or if it's going to be longer than 5, he'll go on TV live for 5 minutes with Channel 10, Janik, and then he'll go on in the afternoon on Channel 12. But he won't do an extensive sit down with Channel 12. He won't sit down with the Boston Globe. He won't sit down with the Providence Journal. What I'm saying is that the members of the media that continue to protect this guy need to be called out. Ask the governor. That segment should be called Protect the Governor. And he goes on with, little pork boy protege as well on WMKRO. It's call them out. They're protecting him. But this story in the Boston Globe, the news says inflation is going down, but nobody sees it. Long lines for food reveal a desperate need in Rhode Island. Hundreds of people line up in Pawtucket twice a month to receive basic necessities from the Elijah Project, a sign of troubling times not reflected in unemployment rates or campaign speeches. Folks, when does it end? And the story goes on and on, these people that line up and get all this free stuff. One thing that has come out, now I'm telling you right now, I also want to point out, just so you understand, I don't use social media to fight with people. Okay? I don't. Some people do. I don't need to. I have enough conflict in my life when I'm going out in real crime situations. So I don't use social media. Some people do. Some people go on social media to engage and go back and forth. I don't have the time for it. I don't have enough time as it is. We're expanding into different platforms. We've now gotten a good following on TikTok. I can't believe, I'm not even putting any effort into the Instagram page, and it is rocketed because people like it. and YouTube. I mean, all of our platforms, plus the rate, everything continues to take off. But what people need to get used to the fact is right now, I'm telling you, whether you're political or not, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, I'm telling you that right now, the momentum is with the Trump campaign. Trump Vance, it is absolutely with them. And should they win, which I think they are now going to win, I do. The Rhode Island and Massachusetts are poised for correction and disaster. There is no administration in the country less prepared for a Trump Vance presidency administration than Governor McKee. Captain Incompetent, Governor Buffoon. He is Tim Waltz in a lighter frame and older. But before I tell you of some of the signs that I see, I do want to remind you, if you want to improve your home or business, AJ Home Improvement. Call them today, 401-323-9252. Frame to finish basements, acoustical ceilings, new homes, additions, commercial rehabs, painting, remodeling. They do it all. AJ Home Improvement, 401-323-9252. 401-323-9252. I share their Facebook page. They do incredible work on your ceiling. They can improve your business, your home. AJ Home Improvement. Call them 401-323-9252. I realize I got to adjust the lighting for our there we go. I know I'm whited out a little bit, but that's on the list of things we're going to adjust. But I want to I just point out, and as I've said, I don't have time to fight with certain members of anyone really, but I certainly don't for the local media. But then there's things that happen, and I see things that I feel obligated to point out. And the fact of the matter is, I'll give you a good example. Now, no one wants to talk about media bias. There's a reporter for the Boston Globe. I like her work. I respect her work. But like, what is this? Amanda Milkovich. This is the story they have. In a red Rhode Island district, Ed Fitzpatrick writes, a Democrat incumbent seeks re-election, facing opposition from the former Republican rep who lost after going to the Capitol on January 6th and espousing conspiracy theories. They talk about Justin Price. The person that holds that seat is Megan Carter. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's not true. I mean, maybe I read it different, but who lost after going. That's not why he lost. Justin Price lost because there was a third-party candidate in the race. Megan Carter doesn't belong there. Megan Carter, who's a local, she's a huge progressive. She's to the farthest left. He didn't lose because of January 6th and espousing, quote, conspiracy theories. He lost because there was a third-party candidate that ran. He lost by, I think, 30 votes, and there was a third party that got almost 700 votes that took away from him because the guy that ran was a Providence police officer. Now, this time around, it's a head-to-head matchup. He's totally going to win, Justin Price. But that's the type of stuff that I'm telling you, not only are the local officials not prepared for what's going to happen, but the local media is not prepared. And as I mentioned to you, for those of you that watch, yesterday in North Providence, middle of the afternoon, armed home invasion. We're going to talk to George at Rhode Island Guns and Ammo coming up. Folks, it's not your imagination. Governor McKee, crime is not down. Things are not great. This is a plague that we have. I don't, just so you understand, Rhode Island doesn't have a mechanism. There's no recall. The only way, I see people that say impeach McKee, that we don't have the mechanism for it. We should. That's why I'm in favor of a constitutional convention that they're talking about that's going to be on the ballot. We do need to change things. There are things we could put in that would improve the state, such as supposedly in our Constitution, you can't do DUI checkpoints. We should have DUI checkpoints. I'm all about stopping the drunk driver, before they take someone's life. Well, in the state constitution, you can't have a check. Like, that's ridiculous. Connecticut has them, and their drunk driving figures are far better than Rhode Island is because it's preventive. But I'm telling you, the local media is not ready for what's going to take place here and what's going to happen here. This is in the right direction. That what people are seeing right now in North Carolina, those aren't people in foreign lands. Those aren't people being bombed in Israel. Those aren't people being bombed in Ukraine. All the illegals that Governor Healy puts up in these hotels, all the illegals, as Eric Trump pointed out to Sean Hannity last night, that are put up in these different in the New York City hotels, and the people that unbelievable floods who've lost everything, and Harris has the gall to go down there and say everybody's going to receive $750. I'm telling you, President Trump is going to win North Carolina. He's going to win Arizona. He's going to win North Carolina. Harris Waltz it's fading. It's crumbling. She's not up to the job. I don't care what Raimondo says. President Trump going back to Butler, Pennsylvania tomorrow is going to be electric. It's going to be that, he doesn't back down. And here in the state, is there anyone right now, legitimately, despite the fact that W. McKeough down the dial, they do everything in their power to try to make excuses for McKee. They have his campaign worker on. They have his surrogate on. They do is there anyone right now, if you're objective, that believes that the state is headed in the right direction? And the same goes for Massachusetts. I mean, how desperate is Massachusetts? They're starting to pick off the Rhode Island companies. Several years ago, Charlie Baker, he's a Republican. He wouldn't have tried to pick off Rhode Island companies. That's how desperate Healy is, because of people that don't want to move into Massachusetts for various reasons. Tax policies in Massachusetts, even Belichick said, with this millionaire tax they have, it's tough to get a lot of athletes to come in to find out they could actually make more money elsewhere. The governors of Rhode Island and Mass have not positioned the state to benefit. But Rhode Island, I mean, right now, and think, you're Governor McKee, and you name the governor. And what do? He selects Sabina Matos to be his lieutenant governor. It's disgraceful. And I mean it. I really mean shame on my old station down the dial, W. McKeough, that they continue. That's what they do. They protect him. They protect that guy. And I just wonder how much longer, for McKee to keep saying, oh, the traffic, it's a little, it's beyond an inconvenience. It's decimating quality of life because it affects all roads. That's what a stooge he is. And still nobody fired. But the North Carolina, people seeing that, and these aren't people in foreign countries. And these aren't, what else is pathetic, by the way? I mean, it's a free country and everyone can do what they want. Channel 10's trying to raise money for the flood victims. Why do private citizens have to donate? We are the wealthiest country on earth. These people had no control over this. This was a biblical flood that wiped everybody out. And now they have to come to the citizens to donate. Why? This is insanity at this point. We all know Biden is checked out. Harris is not the right person, and she's just not up for the job. And that Waltz is a total blowhard. Of course McKee likes him. They're basically like the same person. He's a big blowhard who exaggerates all situations. He is. And at the end of the debate, it did seem like he was going to say, I'm voting for J.D. Vance. But this is, I'm telling you, we need a revolt. Can we really wait 2 more years? I don't think we can wait 2 more years. And we can't wait for the Rhode Island Republican Party. I'm not talking about, something needs to be done. I don't see the leadership. There's more and more crime. There's vicious crime. There's dangerous crime. And I don't understand, admittedly, why certain members out there that is supposed to be in positions of leadership are not speaking out more of the dangers. One of the reasons why, people seem to like road patrol and when we're out there is we highlight with no filter and no spin much of the crime that is going on. Now, North Providence, a lot of people would consider that to be a safe community. And yesterday, you had masked armed individuals go in an armed home invasion. Can you imagine how much they scared the individual that lived there? Folks, I implore you, it's not your imagination. The cartels are at work. Dangerous individuals have come into our country. And I implore you to stop in and visit our friend. And here he is on this Friday. And joining us is our friend George at Rhode Island Guns and Ammo. Good afternoon, George. Looking good.
Thanks, John. How you doing today?
Good. George, yesterday, another example, someone home minding their own business. Boom. Armed home invasion at gunpoint, robbing someone in North Providence. George, in moments like that, people have the right to defend themselves.
They sure do, John, and it's becoming more and more of a commonplace with these types of robberies. They find an easy victim to prey on, somebody that hasn't doesn't have the ability to defend themselves, and those are the ones they attack.
Folks, again, it's George at Rhode Island Guns and Ammo, Post Road in Warwick. And George, the same token, I'm hearing more from business people that are looking at the climate. When you have food lines in Pawtucket, when you have people getting desperate for food and cash in the economy, that's when people turn to crime. That's why I encourage people to come see you at Rhode Island Guns and Ammo on Post Road in Warwick, right down the street from Greg's restaurant.
And John, like we've talked about in the past, that's the best thing that you can do to defend yourself. Again, you insure every aspect of your life from top to bottom: car insurance, home insurance, health insurance. What do you do to protect your own life from an intruder? You have to invest in it. It's not the biggest investment in the world. You buy it once, it'll be around for the rest of your life. But you need to do it because you'd rather have it and never need it than need it and not have it.
Now, we did see the debate on Tuesday night, the two VP candidates. They both, in some way, seem to agree on gun control, other than the Democrat candidate said he's friends with school shooters. But, George, when you have someone like J.D. Vance, I think more people are starting to realize at this point where we are, it just makes sense to have that protection to defend yourself.
I mean, again, it sure does. You look at what's going on in politics. You look at what's going on around the world. There's a war at every corner. God forbid that war ever even comes knocking at our own front door. Um, again, you're better safe than sorry.
Now you're always getting in new inventory. Anything you want to touch on that you maybe received in this week that someone listening or watching that they may find interesting and appealing?
We got some new Mossbergs that showed up recently, and that's in the shotgun version, 12 gauge shotgun version. We also got a bunch of new SAR 9s that showed up probably a couple of weeks ago, and we got a full stock currently at Glock. So a little bit of everything, regardless of what you're looking for, we'll have it for you. If we don't have it in stock, we'll order it in for you. But we'll definitely make sure that you leave happy at the end of the day.
Now, folks, the other thing about George at Rhode Island Guns and Ammo, Post Road in Warwick, he was a victim of crime where they backed their vehicle in less than 60 seconds, 63 seconds, cleaned it out. And George, what I want to impress upon people, when I've obviously been in the store, it's so clean, it's so immaculate, it's a very comfortable shopping experience, and you're right there on Post Road in Warwick.
Correct. And honestly, we needed a makeover anyway, so it was a terrible way to have to get one. But we got new carpets, we got new walls, we got new glass cases. Everything in the store is nice and new. It looks nice. We're inviting. Myself and Tom. we'll do whatever we can to make your experience A plus.
Folks, I share their Facebook page just because the showroom looks so beautiful. George, one other thing, 2 days ago in Massachusetts, right outside of Worcester, I mean, there's someone on the Route 90 with a rifle trying to carjack people. It's not people's imagination. It's spreading to the suburbs.
It is. It seems like people are just getting crazier and crazier by the day, John. I don't know. I don't know what the rhyme, what the reason is to it, and it's a very sad state for us to be in. It really is. As a nation, we should be embarrassed of ourselves with the things that happen, but unfortunately, here's where we are today, and here's where the world is today. So, you're either going to become a victim or you're going to defend yourself. The choices are yours.
George, before I let you go, I also want to ask you, billions to Ukraine, billions to Israel, New York, Massachusetts. I mean, thousands, hundreds of thousands of illegals put up in hotels, rentals, that type of thing. And in the flood in North Carolina, FEMA only provided $750 to Americans who have lost everything. George, it's broken. It's not right.
It is. It's absolutely broken. I mean, we've got people that live in this country, that pay taxes in this country, that break their backs sweating for everything that they own. And then you have an incident like that hurricane that just wipes everything out. And the best they can do, the best the federal government and Joe Biden can do is, yeah, here's $750. But these folks that are living in New York, actually the same ones that robbed me, the same crew that robbed me. They're getting free hotels, they're getting free food, they're getting $1,000+ in their account every month. They're running prostitution rings, they're running drug rings. They got meth labs set up in these hotels, and hey, that's okay. But the lady I saw on TV the other day that was crying because she wasn't able to feed her baby for 2 days broke my heart, and that's not the America we should be living in.
That's right. Now, folks, I hope you get the idea. Not only can you purchase guns and ammo from George, you can also have a very great discussion with him. George, keep up the good work. Store looks fantastic. You got a lot of fans out there, and we'll talk to you again.
Thanks, John. See you soon.
All right, folks, there it is. That's my gun guy. George, thumbs up, everybody, at Rhode Island Guns and Ammo. Well, good afternoon on this Friday. It is true, and he's not wrong. What's going on in New York are some of those Venezuelan gangs that are being put up. What's happening as far as in some of these different places right now, and you have no control with what Americans are putting up with. Now, on this Friday, October 4th, let's bring a little good news to the conversation. Have I told you about Kids Club on the Pike? If you, for your next child's birthday party, team gathering, maybe you're a coach. I've been a youth coach. What do they say at the end of the season? Let's have all the kids together. We'll have a final awards ceremony. We'll have some pizza. So now, okay, where are you going to go? If you go to a restaurant, kids are kids and they kind of want to run around a little bit, play different games. Kids Club on the Pike. It's new. It's right on the Johnston-Cranston line. Anyone from the state, it's right off of 295. Kids Club on the Pike, birthday parties, teen banquets. They have before and after school programs. They have a preschool program. Kids Club on the Pike. You can call them 401-443-5336 or find them online, kidsclubonthepikeri.com. It's safe. It's clean. They have Xboxes for kids that are 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They have a room for tiny little infants. Remember, this could be children and their parents. They have a 50-style diner where the kids can, whatever they're going to have, pizza, ice cream, whatever food, what have you. Kids Club on the Pike. They have different playrooms. They have a movie theater. Perfect spot for children birthday parties. Get all the kids together, whatever it may be. Contact Kids Club on the Pike. They're right on the Cranston-Johnson line. It's safe, it's clean, it's new. They also have before and after school programs. They have preschool programs. Kids Club on the Pike, and look for their Facebook page. Well, folks, right now at 1:36 on this Friday, I believe right now that I think we're at a pivotal point right now because I North Carolina is a pivotal state. And whether people realize it or not, the governor of North Carolina was one of the people being considered by Vice President Harris to be her running mate. And remember, with Harris, she wanted to choose the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, but she couldn't pick him because Josh Shapiro is Jewish, and you can't have a Jewish candidate right now in the Democrat Party because they're so anti-Semitic. So now they're stuck with the big blowhard Waltz, who they hid from interviews, and then they put him out there, and the guy got shellacked on the debate stage. And J.D. Vance, the amount of people talking, I'm very happy for J.D. Vance, Senator Vance. It has not been easy, and ruthlessly attacked in the media. The guy is articulate. He is well spoken. He's young. He's got a young family. J.D. Vance is the future of the country. J.D. Vance, Senator Vance, is the future of the Republican Party. I think right now that things are lining up where you're going to see a return of a Trump presidency. And for two reasons, as I've talked about, North Carolina, and we're all watching the images, and these are American citizens. It's sad, it's horrible, and it's so relatable. So you mean to tell us if something happened and we got just absolutely devastated by biblical type flooding, that good luck waiting in line for FEMA. This goes to show you in the Biden Harris administration and also in the McKee, Rhode Island, illegals, they come in front of us. They come in front of us, period. No one can tell me differently. That's how they operate. And it should not be that way. I don't know about you. I mean, we haven't had, look in West Warwick, where someone says, we shouldn't have these homeless encampments on public property right outside the library. You have children that want to go to the library, and there's a grown man who hasn't showered, he pitches a tent, and he's laying there, and he's self-pleasuring himself. Why should young children have to go by that? And as someone has, and it shouldn't even be courage to say, why do my kids have to walk past him with his drug habit doing that in the tent? And then, that could be any of us, and leave him alone, and don't pick on folks. Like, I think we're tired of it. And between Governor McKee running a sanctuary state, as I've told you, for the first time ever, the number one issue, according to that UNH poll in the 401, the number one issue is illegal immigration. It's never happened before. When we're out on road patrol, how many times do you see me and we're on the call? Spanish-speaking officer needed. Wait, people don't have driver's licenses, or they have the driving privilege. Nobody speaks English. That's who's taking up all the low-income housing, and nobody speaks about it. For all of you people that are supporting Harris and Waltz, and you're a McKee supporter, and you listen to Protect the Governor on WMcKeeRO, and you listen to that stooge, fathead in the afternoon, you tell me, do you mean to tell me things are better with Biden in the White House, Biden-Harris? Things are better with McKee? McKee as the governor? He is absolutely running the place into the ground. And frankly, I'm tired of, I understand, I respect the work done by Tim White and Ted Nesi, who host Newsmakers. But just to have those two individuals on, labor leaders, and we control things, and we run the state house, and we want this, and we want that, and it should be communism, and we're going to take money from working people, and we're going to distribute all the money. Like, where do they get off? The fact, it is a low point in the state that Pat Crowley, that little goon, is now going to be running AFL-CIO. And the fact that they're all, oh, the laudits for retiring. George Nee has done more to destroy private companies in Rhode Island. They are glorified mob bosses. That's what they do. They shake people down. And now we learn, thanks to, I'm glad the Rhode Island Commerce at the airport had that press conference. Council 94 is trying to destroy TF Green because they're not getting their demands. You get good leaders and then let them run the company. Can you imagine? Look at the family, just as an example, that runs Twin Oaks, right? A Rhode Island institution. Well, they've built it. They put in the hard work. They've put in the labor for it. They've had to deal with restaurants opening and steakhouses and Twin River. And then can you imagine someone comes saying, well, we're your new partners because we're going to unionize all your workers. So now you're going to be kicking money back to us. Like, where does it end? I don't hear anyone calling them out on this stuff. But that's why companies continue to abandon the state. And I've had business workers saying, you start doing well, you start expanding, maybe you're going to hire more people, add more people, and what happens? Here come the union goons knocking on your door. We want our cut. We want our cut, or we're going to protest outside, and we're going to put the blow up of the big fat pig with the cigar. Business people that work 7 days a week, and let alone they try to get all the illegals as unionized workers. Why? Just so they can get more union dues. It's greed. It's broken. One of the things about a Trump-Vance presidency is they're going to destroy the teachers' unions. As Dan McGowan broke the news, Mary Beth Calabro is now going to be the head of the American Federation of Teachers, taking over for Flynn, who was another one. So the person who's responsible for the Providence Public Schools, the travesty known as the Providence Public Schools, that is ranked one of the worst school systems in the country, that is thousands of kids trying to get out of there to get into charter schools. The person that basically has absolutely decimated public education in the city of Providence, now she's going to be in charge of all the public schools. I mean, it is just laughable. These people, they don't have solutions. They're not about solutions. They're about destruction. And McKee is a puppet to them. Now, I have two different people that I talk to. One person who's, plugged in at the State House says that Governor McKee will run for re-election because he's going to have to. The other person says he recognizes he can't handle things, and he's looking to get out. Folks, we have to bandy together. We have to support each other. We have to support local businesses. You hear on this program, I'm always trying to support you. Folks, you always want to support our local businesses. And someone who does just a magnificent job, and you hear me talk about her, and she's right there on Mendon Road in Cumberland. And I call her the Queen of Health. Why? Because she's dedicated to health. She's dedicated to quality products, keeping people healthy. And there she is on this Friday. Good afternoon to our friend Marie. Good afternoon, Marie. There you are, Marie. Go right ahead. Hi, Marie. We can hear you. We can hear you. We can see you. Marie. Oh, and she left us. All right. She'll be back. In case we could hear her rustling around. There is a slight delay sometimes when people are joining us. But it's Marie at It's My Health, 1099 Mendon Road in Cumberland. We could see her. We could hear her. And now I believe the Queen of Health joins us on this Friday. Good afternoon, Marie. Good afternoon, Marie. We're looking at her. We can hear her. Good afternoon, Marie. All right, she's still having some problems with her system, and I'm not exactly sure why. So, all right, we're going to let her figure. Folks, we're live. These things happen as we're going to let her get set up. I'm not exactly sure. All she needs is the volume. Before we get to Marie at It's My Health 1099, Mendon Road in Cumberland, it worked fine last week. I want to remind you about Watson Materials. Watson Materials, largest selection of landscape materials in Rhode Island, located right on South County Trail. You can call them 401-885-0600. Watson Materials. Perfect time. Make the most of your outdoor space. They have, it's remarkable what they can do. Watson Materials. Landscape Supply Center, landscape lighting, pavers, retaining walls, natural stone, unlocked stone, cobblestone, Watson Materials. Call them 401. Call them for a free quote, 401-885-0600, 401-885-0600 for Watson Materials. I share their Facebook page. It's incredible what they can do for the outside of your home. All right, we're going to try Marie. And I think sometimes what people don't realize, and we'll give her a moment, but she just needs to turn up her volume so she can hear me, because we can hear her, so we can hear her, we can see her. But I'm willing to bet many times people have their phone volume down and they don't realize that the link is working fine, but they can't hear me even though we can hear them. So let's try again. There is, I believe, Marie at It's My Health, 1099 Mendon Road in Cumberland. Good afternoon, Marie.
I can't hear you, John.
Okay, turn up your volume. Turn up your volume. If you turn up your volume, there we go. We can hear you just fine, Marie. So, but you need to make sure the volume on your device is up. So, is that okay? Can you hear now if you turn up your volume on the phone, where then you should be able, because we can hear you fine and see you fine. So, we're having a little bit of difficulty. Nope, I'm not sure why. Because I can hear, we can, folks, those that are watching, we can see her and we can hear her, and should be able to hear us totally fine. Let me try. Oh, here we go. And let me just try. Oh, hold on. Oh, now she muted herself. All right. Now, again, I recognize we are having just seemingly, nope, a little bit of a minor problem. No, you need to unmute. Unmute. Nope, it's not going to work. And I'm not sure why, other than right now we're on mute. So we're going to instead, I'm not exactly sure what the problem is, but we're going to get a hold of our folks because that's what we can do. And so I'm not sure. Many times, again, that's all right. And we'll go to this method of speaking with the Queen of Health. So, and we'll, let's see now. This is Marie. There she is. There's the Queen of Health. Now, Marie, let me ask you, is the volume up on the phone? Because I could hear you. Yeah. I could hear. Your volume was up. We could hear you, but then your phone was muted. So let's do this. As long as your phone is up, and if you, sometimes I will test my phone to play like a video to make sure that I can hear it properly. But we could hear you rustling and we could see you, but we just could not, you could not hear me, in other words. Right. So now let's do this actually. Maybe let's try this. There you are. All right. Now why don't you, Marie, tell us? So we'll do it this way then. Folks, there she is, Marie, and It's My Health, 1099 Mendon Road in Cumberland. Marie, good afternoon, Marie.
Good afternoon, John.
All right, there we go. Now let me, if I go right ahead. Can you still hear me fine?
I can hear you.
Okay, go right ahead, because then the volume is working fine. Marie, why don't we go through what we go to? Marie, folks, is going to highlight, I think if you have them, 3 different products that you're very high on that you'd like to push this week. Go right ahead, Marie.
Well, I was thinking about digestion. So I pulled out a few products. Fiber, very, very important. We have it. Let's see if I can get it into the picture. So we have fibers that are in powder. We have them in gummies. Fiber is so important, right, to our digestive systems, and we don't get enough fiber from our foods because we're not eating whole foods all the time. So obviously, eating whole foods would be helpful, but if we need to supplement, we do have that. A lot of people suffer from allergies, acid reflux, all kinds of leaky gut, which the medical system doesn't really recognize. There's this
That's right.
great product. It's called Vital Gut Renew. It's a powder that you take once or twice a day, and it is amazing. It has L-glutamine, which is an amazing amino acid that helps to heal the lining of the intestinal system, and amazing results with that. And of course, adding to that some kind of a probiotic. So Vital Planet makes one. We carry another one. Dr. O'Hara's is a fermented probiotic. So they start with food. So it's like eating kimchi or sauerkraut. So that's the best way, I think, to get our probiotics. If you drink kombucha, or if you take if you consume sauerkraut, but if not, this is great. The Dr. O'Hara's too, even if you have an upset stomach from something that you've eaten, you can just chew on one and it will help to solve that problem, help you to feel better. And it tastes pretty like kind of date figgy kind of taste, so it's not a bad flavor to have if you have an upset stomach. So digestion is where I'm thinking today.
I like that. And folks, again, it's Marie at It's My Health, 1099 Mendon Road, a couple of Marie, you are so on the money. Not only are you the queen of health, but if someone has digestive problems, it throws off their entire quality of life. I mean, who can
Everything.
relax or sleep or enjoy themselves if they're having a problem digestive? What I like is these are natural products
Mm-hmm.
that you offer and carry that could help people with their digestive problems.
Yeah. Yeah, the powdered fiber that I was showing you has flax, pea, and chia. So it's all just real food, but it's giving it to you in the volume that your digestive system needs. And you'll find that things just seem to work better. The plumbing definitely works better if you're getting enough fiber. But we're in the season of immune system, right? And if our bellies aren't good, then our immune systems aren't going to be good, and we can't fight things off. Or if we get things, they're going to linger. So we really want to make sure that our guts are in good shape coming into immune system time.
Could you also just touch on, I found that interesting. I didn't realize. So sauerkraut is actually very good for the system and digestive system.
Mm-hmm. Fermented foods. You see a lot now. There's been a lot of push to ferment foods, to ferment fruits and vegetables, and consuming them. So sauerkraut is one of those. Kimchi is another one, a little spicy, but some people like that. But it's become a big thing to start fermenting. You can buy all kinds of kits for fermenting your food, but sauerkraut is the one most people know the best.
Folks, again, it's Marie at It's My Health, 1099 Mendon Road in Cumberland. Look at you, the queen of health. You got the 3 products. You're open. Folks, pop in and see her. And when you pop in to see her, you don't need to use the telephone. You can come and see her in person. Marie, also, as we're into autumn, nice tea is a nice way to warm up because it gets chilly now at night. And also, as you've taught me, there's a lot of fantastic natural ingredients where tea can be very, very soothing.
Oh yeah. See, teas are wonderful. You can sip them all day. I find that I have a little bit of trouble with caffeine, even black tea, so I try to stick to the herbal teas now most of the time. I'll add a little lemon. I'm coming into the season where I might do a little bit of green tea, but with some ginger and some lemon and some honey. Oh, soothing. You can sip on it all day. Just keep adding hot water to it, and it's good for the immune system too.
Now, before I let you go, if you wouldn't mind, just mention these 3 products again.
So the products that I have, so a company called Vital Planet. Brenda Watson is the guru. So we have Vital Gut Renew. Well, we have Vital Gut Renew. We have probiotics. We have fiber from a couple different companies if you like gummies or if you like the powder. The powder's tasty. It's not hard to take. And then of course, Dr. O'Hara's is one of my favorite probiotics that you can take.
You are amazing. You are so knowledgeable. You're so great. Listen, we'll work out the kinks. I love the segment where not only I can see you, everyone can see you. Folks, Marie is just one of a kind. And what I love and respect, she's so knowledgeable. The service is the best. And she is dedicated to keeping people healthy. Marie, what are your hours for the rest of today and also Super Saturday?
We'll be here till 5:30 today and tomorrow from 9 to 4.
You are the best. You're the queen of health. Keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
All right, there it is, folks. There's Marie. Now, again, I'm not exactly sure what happened. We will straighten it out. It is a new element. You heard, we have different guests. We have people like that. I like it. I like that we have a chance that we can, and you get a chance. Folks, pop in. Marie, 1099 Mendon Road in Cumberland. If you're on Mendon Road right now, I mean, where are you going? You're in such a hurry. They're diagonally across from Davenport Restaurant. They are in that she's in the historic white church. She is a dream local business person, retailer to have. And the people, I mean, they drive from all over to see her. It's My Health, 1099 Mendon Road in Cumberland. Folks, never a dull moment. Well, good afternoon. Again, this is the real news, and the real news that is going on right now is people are just not, it's just not working. What's happening right now, what I think, they're all talking about the October surprise, but I'm hard pressed to find, if people truly want to be objective, I mean, really be objective, is there anyone right now that feels, keep in mind, Governor McKee, he is supporting Harris Waltz. He wants to continue down the path that he's on and that they're on. Is there anyone in our area that thinks that this is the right step forward? Folks, when you have Americans right now that are being overwhelmed with that flooding, and Georgia, Rhode Island Gun, it's heartbreaking what they're going through. And I understand that private citizens are stepping up and we're going to donate. And I think that is positive. Don't get me wrong. But it's also, what does our tax money go to? And why are things so difficult with FEMA? And everything that even that, Harris Waltz is offering, it's just all filled with fraud. So I think we're at a breaking point and the clock is ticking. And next week it's the 7th, the week of the 14th, 21st, and then the 28th. And then the 5th is election day. I think things are breaking the right way. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to The Real News. We do it each weekday at noon. Remember, the radio show starts at 11. Real News is at 1. We will be doing Road Patrol Live later. I want to thank JR. Great week. Thank you to all our guests, everybody that's tuning in. We will be, again, watch Road Patrol. Check out DePietro.com. And those listening on the radio, stay tuned for the 2 o'clock news. Enjoy your weekend.